Hey everybody, it's Michael Waddell with another edition of Outdoor Bites. Jeff Danker, big
Michael
buck
Waddell.
hunter, man, I'm telling you, man, it's so good to see you, buddy. I mean, how was your year?
You know, it's been good. It's just God has allowed us another year to go chase the critters. And, you know, I'm older now.
Right? We'll be doing Santa Claus for
Well,
long,
hey,
Jeff, you and I both.
the truth of the matter is they pulled the white hair out when I was 16 years old. I always blame it on my aunt. She was my haircut, you know,
Yeah.
lady. And, yeah, it filled in nice, didn't it?
It's the same here, baby.
No, we had a good year, Michael. It's, you know, down there in Oklahoma and Kansas, and just being able to chase those critters, those big bucks is my passion, you know, so for sure.
Right. And I think everybody gets to see that on BuckVentures. You're obviously Woodsman, that show, and you're moving over to Outdoor Channel with BuckVentures.
You know, I'm so excited. It's obviously it's been a dream for a lot of us, and being on outdoor television, getting to hunt, getting to be who I am. But you know, the Outdoor Channel is kind of, you know, it's the premium, you feel like, and
Right.
So to move that over there, and then bringing the Woodsman up on the Sportsman Channel, you know, again, I don't know how I made it this far, other than just the good Lord blessing us, and I'm gonna keep going. I always say, if I end up and this is over tomorrow, and I'm digging ditches, I'm just gonna look up and say, God, where are we going next?
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when you got that perspective, you're really always going to be happy, because it don't matter if you're in the low spot or the high
Right.
spot. You're in a good
When it's
spot.
easy to say.
Yeah.
You know, it's harder to walk and truly be that, but it does free a guy up. I mean, in a rough world, just to have that life and to know that, you know, God's got me. You know, it isn't about me, it's about, you know, the more I've been selfish a lot in my life, but he's taught me
yeah.
so much. And outdoors, you know how it is.
Oh, absolutely.
From deer hunting, you know, you're all pumped up the night before. You know, and 3 days into it, you feel like the worst hunter in the world. You know,
yeah.
because you're a failure 90% of the
That's
time, or
correct.
95%, but that one day when you get on that big deer that you're after, or whatever you're hunting, and it comes together, you know, you feel good. And then the next day you start all over and you're a failure again, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
That's what people don't realize, I think, that maybe don't hunt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because even as a hunter, you can kind of get to a place like, man, I got this figured
Yeah.
out.
Right.
I got it figured out. And then all of a
Oh, I
sudden,
know.
like, you'll be humbled up. You're like, you know what? No, I really don't. I ain't got nothing figured
Right.
out, but you still pursue it and you have fun. There's a time around camp.
Well, and it's just like you. I mean, you watch your show, whatever, over the years, and you know, you think, well, dang, Waddell kills every time he's somewhere, but they ain't with you every
No.
day. And that grind that we all get in, I mean, it's real.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
as hunters, I think, you know, a true hunter can relate to that and know that, yeah, we ain't just climbing up in a tree and killing something, because that's very few for me.
No, that's exactly right. And I think what y'all have always done a good job too on BuckVentures, obviously what y'all doing with the Woodsman, that's pretty cool. Definitely feeling, I think that's been going on for 3 seasons,
Yeah.
but I think and I pray that comes across on all of our shows, you know, especially does on BuckVentures. Like, we're not trying to be experts. We've been blessed. We know what we know, but you guys do a good job of the common man can relate to these
Right.
things, these tips, these tactics.
Right.
It's about the fun. Certainly you get some
Right.
high-end tips about
Sure.
maybe what you've learned over the years, but
Well, and I mean, I believe, Michael, and I mean, obviously you've stood up, and you know, it's like Aaron Tippin's song, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for
Right.
anything. And I believe in the hunting industry, whether you're a high fence hunter or you're a fair chase or whatever, it's just being who you are.
yes.
You know, I always use this example, and you know, you came in the industry and you're saying freak daddy and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden people, they flock to that. But I mean, it's about who you are. I mean, me and you got a lot in common, but there's a lot of things we're different, and it's
Right.
okay.
It's 100. That's
It's just
exact.
be who you are and find out who you are in life. And truthfully, I encourage everyone that works for me or whatever, you know, don't be me, don't be anyone else, don't be Waddell even.
Right.
Take
I
some
agree.
good things from there, some good things, but find out who you are, because God's all made us different. And when you can be real to yourself, and it you know, it's easy to say, harder to do, but when you can do that, I think you got something.
You're exactly right. And that is deep when you look at it like that, because I do think you see that, and it's not just the hunting industry thing. Sometimes you're trying to figure out who you really are or how to have security of being what you really love, you know,
Right.
because if you look at hunting, sometimes you might be on a blind that's
Right.
heated.
Yeah.
Other times you might be
Yeah.
hanging off a little old hickory tree up there with whether it's a saddle
Right.
or a lock on,
Sure.
that your wife's gonna be mad if she knows you
Yeah.
hunted out of it because
Yeah.
it was unsafe.
I know, yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
you might be eating a bologna sandwich, or the next night you might be eating a big old
Right.
ribeye, you know, around the grill there.
Yeah.
So
When you might be on your own ground that you worked your butt off,
That's
and you
correct.
got somebody mad at you because, well, we can't do that or
Right.
whatever. And again, I mean, I started as dirt poor as you can be, but I will never apologize now for having what I worked for. You
Absolutely.
know, I do have some good dirt now, but freaking work my butt off is a dream, and it could end tomorrow.
That's right.
I mean, something could happen, and again, I just look up and go, okay, where are we going next? And that's all I want to tell everybody, because, you know, obviously being in the public eye, and you're probably the highest of all of us. And the amount of people that love you, but then the amount of people that are mad
Got
at
a
you.
lot of people, even hate.
Mhm.
You know, I had somebody tell me, actually, Gerald Swindle told me the other day, and I thought of you because obviously you're very spiritual. Obviously, you love Jesus.
Right.
And he said something that hit home with me. He said, you know, he was talking about being real, similar conversation. He said, man, Waddell, you know, when I figured it out and I quit worrying about what people, you know, if they like me or not, he said, it hit me that there's people that hate Jesus. If they don't like him, why are they going to like me? And I thought that was pretty awesome to think about. You know what? That's amazing. So I think the more you start realizing people's opinion to a degree doesn't matter. However, there is a perspective I think that gets lost, especially when people look at shows and they look at Jeff Danker hunting. Obviously, you're known for putting a tag on some really big whitetails. I mean, you look back at the people you're hunting with, from literally Chipper Jones to your crew now, to really, I mean, you've had an influence on so many productions and friends and people that you made in the industry. But in reality, what they don't see is all the hard work. You know, the times you were hunting a lot of public ground, the times that you didn't get a chance to have a farm like you have in Oklahoma, or maybe out in the Panhandle in certain areas where I feel like the biggest accomplishment maybe that you have made is be able to figure out, how can I have this land to hunt? How can I have that so-called farm deer? That's what they were, oh, that's a farm deer. That ain't hunting. Like, look, it's the hardest thing I ever did. You're right. Some of these deer might be a little better, easier to hunt, but the hardest thing I ever did is figure out how to get a loan at the bank to own this farm. That was American dream.
And with, just like you and Gerald, your conversation, I mean, it's so real. I mean, because if I'm honest, I come in this, I made so many mistakes because I was trying to please people. I was trying to be at times somebody that I remember a story, and I don't even know if it's true with you. I heard, and it's always stuck with me, that you came out, and you tell me if it's right or wrong, but somebody said, when you first came in, you said something like, oh, I harvested this deer. And you were like, no, I killed him. You know, and again, that's kind of where we got to be, just be who we are. And remember, not everyone will like us. And I, just like Gerald, I've got to a point where, you know what, I'm okay with it. I do want people to like me. I mean, but I can't, I got to be me. And again, I want to have humility, and God's taught me a lot of that more and more. And I want to love my neighbor as myself, and I want to do that. But I know not everyone's going to like me.
That's exactly right. That's amazing stuff. And actually, you know, a lot of people that watch you, they know the animals and the whitetails. I mean, I think it's safe to say if there's one animal left to hunt, what would that be? Would probably be whitetails.
Well, I mean, I'm
like
after moose and stuff like that now, finally, because again, back to the hard work, I never could even think about going on one of those hunts. And now they're too expensive. I've called the other day, like, 35, 50,000. Whoa, I'll call you back maybe tomorrow.
But I can still picture Jeff Danker on a moose hunt and looking for service to check his trail cameras on whitetails, like,
that'd be true. That'd be true. Hey, I got a big week. Can we speed this up?
If we get this one, can we get out here tonight? That's crazy.
Well, man. I remember hunting with you at Jackie Bushman's place. That's, you know, we were just together a few days, but I really enjoyed that. And you know, and I hope when you can hunt together at some point again. I mean, I got some Kansas ground that, you know, I know you've shot some big ones there, but we would love to have you back one day. And I mean, again, back to just real people. And there's a bunch of them in this industry. Golly, there is a bunch of them. So, and again, that's my deal to anyone. Just find out who you are, be who you are. And man, Outdoors Channel, OSG, what they've stood for and stood behind us. I can't believe this is my 20th anniversary. How long have you been in the industry now?
Holy cow, man, I'm scared to admit it, but literally since I've been 18 or 19, I'll be 50 in May. So it's really all I know. I mean, and not just working in the industry, but growing up. And I think that's what is special when you see OSG doing all this and have us a chance to sit down, even on these outdoor bites and talk. And it's amazing. Most everybody I've had a chance to talk to, I know well, and I would consider my friend.
Sure.
Have the contact, and I know that it's an industry to where I can say, you know, text you and Jeff, hey man, I'm broke down over here on the side of the road in Milwaukee. And you're like, hey dude, well, I'm a long ways away, but I can be there tomorrow. I'll catch the first flight out. It's like, you know, that's the kind of people we get a chance to work around. And you look back over that period of time and the years, it absolutely is amazing. And I think you kind of already answered it, but I was going to ask you, you know, what's next for Jeff Danker? I know you got all these productions. You got an amazing crew, some great production team. You've kind of set yourself apart from a standpoint of what you do, your spirituality,
Right.
as well as just being a guru of whitetail. I mean, if you ever want to figure out something about whitetails, especially in that area where you kind of grew up, your stomping
Right.
grounds, you got a lot of technique.
Well, and again, I think with me on the whitetail deal, it's just I'm too dumb to quit. I mean, I make a lot of mistakes, and probably to me, what's new more in my life than anything is I have an amazing crew, and I have these young boys, and trying to mentor them, obviously in the hunting and giving them a shot like we had.
Right.
But you know, making sure that I can talk it all I want.
Right.
And I might even be able to trick you from a long ways away, but I can promise you right now, if I ain't walking it with that crew, they'll know it.
They'll know.
And that is what I want to be. I want to be everything that I can point them to Christ and what really matters. We know.
Right.
I mean, the Bible talks about it's only a vapor here. And
Yeah.
you mentioned being 50. I'm 51.
Yeah.
I'm realizing
I
it's
thought we
going
were around
by
the same.
fast.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
And so God has allowed me to be wiser, and just like I said, I just want to be anything that I can be for others now. And again, I still love to hunt, and I'm going to chase those big deer 100%. But I have, you know, a lot, even from watching you over the years, is I really look and to be intentional about the opportunities every day that God gives me, whether that's a conversation with you or somebody new that might be, because I mean, if we go through this whole deal right now, I can promise you everybody's got a problem. They're hiding it,
Yep,
whatever,
I agree.
left or right,
I agree.
we all got stuff we're dealing with.
That's exactly
And if
right.
we can be a light, you know, and I mean, we're in Vegas. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
absolutely, yeah.
and
no
so
doubt.
being that light, and that's my goal.
Yeah.
And people get tired of hearing it, and they'll just have to turn their ear, because I ain't never gonna quit talking
No,
about
and
it.
that's one thing I've always loved about you.
Yeah.
One thing I personally appreciate about you, obviously I've seen when you first stepped into the space and started doing shows on Outdoor Channel and Sportsman's Channel,
Mhm.
and now I look at it now and I've seen a tremendous amount of success from the partners and people you're working with. But the more success you've gotten, the more humble. It's amazing how, I don't know if that's the
Right.
way we was raised or the culture or the good Lord or what, but it's like, I've never seen an industry that the more success somebody
Right.
gets, I've seen it in you, in many people.
Yeah, for sure.
The more
Well,
humble you get.
I think that, you know, I've tried to figure that out over the years. It's like being an athlete. You know, we all grew up, and a lot of it was why I started whitetailing. Is it was a way I couldn't play basketball and quit roping and all that stuff, but that competitive drive, and then being able to go head to head up against a whitetail, and even at the first, maybe doing it for the wrong reasons, to me, oh, look at me. I mean, but now I don't have that. I mean, God, you're exactly right. He's whittled it down to make me more humble, and I'm a work in progress.
That's right.
As I think a lot of us are. But yeah, you're exactly right. And again, it's all Him.
Yeah.
I could not be where I'm at. I mean, I don't even know how I got here. I'm not worthy to be where I'm at in a sense, but God did give me a work ethic.
That's right.
He's made me wiser as I've gotten older, and He's blessed me even financially with these great partners and
Right.
this and that. And I'm very humbled, Michael, to be sitting here with you
That's
today.
amazing. That's grace, man. That's what that is. And I will say this, Jeff, I did try to step my boot game up a little bit. I knew I was going to talk with Oklahoma Cowboy Jeff Danker. I had to step up my boot game a little bit.
Yeah.
Man, I knew I was going to be talking to Jeff Danker. You can't come in here with no just average stomps.
Right. Well,
I mean,
hey,
he's not only laying down big bucks, but he also can, you know.
They asked me what this is. You know, everybody, so when you go buy this boot, Michael, they say it's a Brazilian fish.
Is
You
it
know what
really?
I think it is?
What
It's
is
a
it?
carp.
It probably is a carp.
Carp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Just
love
a fancy word to get more money, isn't it? So,
Jeff Danker, buddy. Proud to
appreciate
call
you, brother.
friend,
Yes, sir.
man.
Thanks, Michael.
sir.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for watching Outdoor Bites with Michael Waddell.